Hello there, my friends, and welcome back to another Ultimate Skyrim development update. Thank you for joining me here today. As always, I'd like to say hello to my newest patrons. Thank you all very much for your contributions and your support, without which Ultimate Skyrim truly would not exist. Today's update is all about continued improvements and additions to crafting gameplay in Ultimate Skyrim, and there's a lot to talk about this week, so let's dive right in. Arguably, the most important change from this week is that breakdown recipes are now unlocked by material perks. For example, breaking down elven equipment will require the elven smithing perk, and so on. This should add additional utility to the material perks, while also making it harder for non-blacksmiths to cash in on breakdowns. I've increased the yield for many breakdown recipes, especially alloys from scrap metals and leather yields from light armors. I've unified the yield for weapon and armor breakdowns. In most cases, a chest piece will yield 4 ingots, boots, helmets, bows, and two-handed weapons will yield 2 ingots, and gauntlets and one-handed weapons will yield 1 ingot. I've removed the Legendary Blacksmith requirement for artifact replicas, which should make those replicas easier to craft. I thought this was appropriate since they are simply replicas and do not receive any of the effects or enchantments from the actual artifacts. Also, you no longer need the original artifact in your inventory in order to craft a replica. Typically speaking, if you've earned an artifact, the replica recipe will appear in your crafting menu forever, as long as you have the requisite material perk. I've removed the location requirements for Thane gear. For those of you who don't know, CCOR adds a variety of awesome gear for Thanes to represent their hold, but the recipes require you to physically be in that hold to craft that hold's gear. This is no longer the case, and you can now craft Thane gear anywhere, so long as you are actually Thane of the hold whose gear you're trying to craft. I've unified the recipes for ammo breakdowns, so that in the vast majority of cases, you can break down 25 arrows or bolts into a single ingot. You can also convert arrows and bolts into wood shavings or firewood, which is pretty useful, I'd say. I've overhauled the Dragon Priest masks so that they no longer require Legendary Blacksmithing to temper or convert into circlets, and I've also added new recipes for reverting the circlets back into masks if you like. I created recipes for crafting enhanced torches from the player crafting menu or at a forge. Essentially, adding dwarven oil to the standard torch will result in a much brighter flame. Jewelry recipes now require material perks in some cases, instead of just advanced blacksmithing. This should make material perks even more useful, and also prevent advanced blacksmithing from being so overpowered, since by default, it unlocks almost all jewelry recipes in the game. I added several missing breakdown recipes for saddles, and unified saddle breakdown yield. And finally, I removed inventory conditions for just a million different items so that you no longer need ingredients in your inventory to see the recipe in your crafting menu. That about wraps up my work from the previous 2 weeks. For the next 2 weeks, my goal is to make significant headway into recipes and blueprints now that the inventory conditions and proper crafting station assignment is mostly done. If you have any questions or comments about the changes featured in this video or about Ultimate Skyrim in general, you can join us next Monday on Twitch at the usual time of 10 a.m. PST for the Ultimate Skyrim gameplay and Q&A stream. Alternatively, you can leave your comments in the comment section below and I will get to them ASAP as usual. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support, and I will see you in the next video.